All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of Investors Roundtable. This is not a webinar, neither is it a lecture, like I said in the invitation. We are going to be sharing updates in the world of investing and what to do in case you don't know already what to do. Some of us already started out with investing, but we don't have a clarity of what we're doing in terms of investment portfolio building, in terms of you know diversification, choosing the right assets to buy or to sell. So we're going to be discussing real issues here. So if you already have questions, you can start putting it in the chat box, and I would answer as many as I can. So there is no end time for this discussion. When we're tired, we end. So the hard stop anyways is 10 p.m. Um, so feel free to chill and enjoy as we go. So this first time, it's not the conventional live session that we do in morning lessons. So be open to whatever happens today. We'll learn from here. All right, so first we're going to look at the Nigeria economy outlook, and then we'll go into crypto market insights, what's happening in the stock markets as well, in the US stock market, essentially, we're going to be talking about today. And then portfolio diversification, how should you diversify your portfolio? Some of us don't understand what portfolio diversification is. So we're going to take out some examples on how you can diversify your portfolio, then look at live question and answer. So for every point I speak on, which is not going to more than 5-10 minutes, you would have questions to ask. So that's it. I don't have any other slide to present. This is just it. So how well have we done so far this year in terms of the Nigeria economy? The key indices you want to look at when you're evaluating the Nigeria economy is inflation rates, and then Naira exchange rates, and you also want to look at the interest rates. So I'm going to show you, so we're going to be doing a lot of screen sharing. So one of the things you're going to be learning today is how to do this research yourself, how to make financial decisions, or how to come to how do I put this now? Yeah, just how to make a decision or how to evaluate a decision you're about to take. So I would share my screen. I'm going to go to CBN's website. So I'm not going to be copying and sharing any link to save our time. So any website I visit, just take note of the website. Maybe somebody can copy it and put it on the platform, the charts. At any point you're not able to hear me, please somebody should send me a message on WhatsApp or ring me on WhatsApp if you're not able to hear me for more than 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going now to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing what I'm sharing now to share another screen. Okay, so I'm visiting CBN's website, CBN websites. Like I always say in my classes, you don't need to cram anything, you don't need to cram any websites. Google is your friend. Just search on Google, or this is showing Yahoo right now, but let's see, Yahoo too can be of help. So this is it's cbn.gov.ng. So this is the best place to look at what one look at right now. So the first year we have is the monetary policy rate MPRO. Those of us that have been in the community long enough should know what this means. This interest rates that CBN lends money to commercial banks. So commercial banks would add a little markup on this and lend to businesses or to people that want to get mortgage. So this would be maybe 31 to 32%, depending on the bank. Then inflation rate is 23.71%. So you can see it's falling. At the beginning of the year, inflation rate was around 24.50 something. And then this monetary policy rate has been the same since the beginning of the year. Exchange rate has been a bit up and down. So this is the current exchange rate for CBN. So you want to look at what the parallel market rate is. There are several places you can look at. You can start from Bamboo app, and then you can there's this Naira rate on Twitter that also shows the street market rates, or you just call your bookie. So I think in the black market it is let me see, should be around 160 about. Let me just confirm what it is. So it is about um okay. Wow, it has dropped so significantly. I'm seeing a lot of 1.560, 1.570. This is good. So you see, when I've been talking about that this is the year of the Naira, now you can see it clearly. So Naira has been gaining in terms of value since the year started. The year started with about 1,740, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember exactly what the year started with, you can put it in the chat box. So currently, the black market, you're looking at around 1.560. So you see that in terms of Naira exchange rates, the Nigerian economy has been doing very well. In terms of inflation rates, the Nigerian economy has been doing very well as well. And also in terms of the MPRO that government lends money to bank, it's been good as well. It's been stable because that is the same rate that determines what the rate for commercial papers, the rate for bonds, and the rate for treasury bills. So, okay, I just checked Bybit now. Bybit is 1.576. So you see, beautiful. If you have been following the conversations in the community or in ML Investment Club this year, I talked about that the worst case that Naira would go this year is 1.7. And how was I able to come to that conclusion? It's two things. First off is that there is no more subsidy. Subsidy are scrapped. So all of those dollars that was being stolen by subsidizing fuel that was not consumed in Nigeria is no more. Number two is that Dangote is now producing petrol. So most of the petrol we consume now in Nigeria is Dangote's petrol. And Dangote buys crude oil from what's it called? From the oil producers in Naira. It doesn't pay in dollar. So the demand for dollar has dropped significantly. That is why you see Naira has been a bit stable. So unlike other years like 2020, if you are joining ML community in 2021, 2022, 2023, I had a huge campaign of save in dollars and invest in dollar. That was the campaign. Saving dollar, because Naira was on a decline. I was going to continue declining. Now, why have I stopped talking about saving in dollar as much as I used to? It's because the dynamics has changed, right? We now have a capitalist as the president, and Naira is no longer going to be on a free fall. This does not mean that Naira would, continue to perform. Right now, I can't say it can get better than 1.5. I think the best I can see for Naira in the short term, that means this year, is 1.5. The worst I can see is 1.7. So it still makes sense to save in dollar as a backup plan, but it's not going to be as sensible as it was 2-3 years ago. And I'll give you an instance why I say so. If, for example, right, you buy dollar at let's say today now is 1.5, let's just 1.550. So you buy $1,000 at 1.550, and then you say that, oh, because I've talked about how it could get to 1.7, you want to make profits with that jump. So look at 1.550. When the price goes to 1.7, that is 1.7 million. If you deduct 1.7 million from 1.550, that is just about 150,000, or 1.7 minus 1.5. Yeah, 150,000 or 250,000. Why is this math doing me? Let me use calculator. So 1.7. I'm trying to give us practical examples because some of us are at the crossroad of what to do. I was having a conversation with someone recently who has thousands of dollars just stashed in the bank account, and I'm telling the person that the era of stashing dollars in the bank account that is not for emergency fund or for short-term savings is over. There is no point stashing a lot of dollars in the bank account. Convert some of them and invest in Naira instruments, or just invest them in dollars. So 1.7 million minus 1.550 million. So that gives us, 150,000. So that is even less than 10%. But if you should invest in the Naira mutual funds today, so we're going to look at now, I'm going to share what the current mutual fund rate is. Let's look at Stanbic IBTC. So you can make proper decisions. So this is the last time I'm going to show you, and then questions if there are, before I move on to the next topic. I'm just trying to make a case as to why this is the year of the Naira, and why right now Naira is doing very well in terms of exchange rate, because back then it didn't make sense to invest in Naira because Naira was going to devalue. So any profit you make is going to be wiped away by devaluation of Naira. But now we are having mutual fund. You can see mutual fund is 20.56%. Okay, I'm sharing it now. So this is Stanbic IBTC fund management. This is for mutual fund. So this is 20.56%. So even if we are forecasting that Naira will devalue to 1.7 or even 1.8, let's calculate the percentage for 1.8. So let's say today now it is 1.550. So 1.8 minus 1.550, which is the worst case. So you're adding to what I have said, which is 1.7. So that's 250. 250. So this is just 16%. So if Naira devalues to 1.8, you would have just lost 16%. Meanwhile, if you invest in this mutual fund, there's a higher chance that you get an annual return of 20% than Naira devaluing by 16% currently. Currently, I can say that with as much confidence as I have from now to the end of the year. So instead of just stashing money in the bank account, that is not bringing back money to you, invest it. So you want to consider the Naira stock market, or you want to consider the the US dollar stock market, or all of these fixed instruments I talked about, bonds, treasury bills, commercial papers, and so on. So, and that's what I'm going to show you here is the NGX, Nigeria NSCS ASI. That is the stock market, the entire stock market performance. It's been remarkable this year. I mean, if you compare to um, the US stock market, let's see what the percentage is today. So this is where I've gone. So I told you I'm going to visit a lot of websites, so just take notes. So today is let's see. Internet is a bit poor. Okay, this is 1 year change, 15%, 1 year change. I want to check year to date. If I want to compare with, S&P index. I want to compare with S&P index. So let's look at 6 months. So 6 months ago, this is where it was. 6 months ago, it was 98,085. Now it is 114527. So we can calculate the percentage ourselves. So let's do 114616. 114616 minus 98. That's just 98,000. So divided by 98,000 times 100. Don't know how to calculate interest rates while I'm there. Right now, I should know how to do that. So this is 17%, 16.9% good. Let's look at S&P 500. S&P 500. I don't know why it's not Google that's showing. Come on. Oh, so you guys are not seeing my screen just now. I need to go back. Let me show you what I just looked at. You're not seeing the screen in real time. Let me change my network. I think my network is trying to disgrace me. Please let me know if it's better now. Can you see my screen? Is the internet better now? Internet is bad today. Okay, so I would just you guys just manage. I don't know why the internet is so terrible today, but what I was trying to show you earlier is the performance of the Nigerian all share index. That is the index that tracks the entire stock market. It's 16% up year to date. So I wanted to compare that with S&P 500. So let me see if I can do that. Wow, this is bad, bad, bad. Let me try another. Okay. All right. So this is S&P 500 index, and look at the performance year to date, 2.25%. Please, if you can't see my screen, just take note of that. I'm having a bad internet connection. I'm trying to improve on it, but you could hear my voice. And what I'm just trying to compare now is the S&P 500 index is up 2%, while the Nigerian stock market is up 16%. So you see, the Nigerian stock market, for one, is doing better in terms of performance to the US stock market this year so far. And at the same time, Naira is increasing in value. So if you are to compare buying an ETF in the Nigerian stock market that tracks the entire stock market compared to buying an ETF in US stock markets that tracks the entire stock market, you'll be in a loss right now, because your $1,000 that you bought in January at I think in the year it was about 1,740. The $1,000 I bought at 1,740. If you are to convert that money back to Naira, you're going to get less Naira than you had in January. Couple with the fact that this S&P 500 index is also has not performed relatively well. So back in the days, we would always want to invest in US stocks, because even if it is 10% increase, it is better than buying. It's better than investing in Naira, because Naira will devalue. So if you have 20% growth in Naira stock, you may have a depreciation of the Naira by 25%. So that knocks out the growth. So I think I'm going to start bonds questions regarding what I've talked about. Please, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you to speak, or you could put in the chat box. Any thoughts to share about what I've talked about? Any question? Please, I want this to be, what's the word? Interactive. Those of us that are joining us on YouTube, you're welcome, and insights into the Nigerian economy, how it's been doing so far, and what to expect. Are we following? Can you hear me? You could just say something so I know I'm not talking to myself. It started by the agenda. I just did an overview of the Nigerian economy, how it's been doing so far. We looked at exchange rates on CBN's website. It is 1553.12. This is to tell you that the value of Naira has improved significantly, because I remember in January 1740, if I'm not mistaken. So the benefits of saving in dollars is no longer there like before. Short term, because you're looking at it going in price or naira losing its value. That strategy is obsolete in today's economy. Buying dollars, and the reason is because number one, Dangote refinery is functioning. We're no longer importing fuel as much as we used to. Number two, fuel subsidy is over. We're no longer spending dollars on only be used to import. Dollars that we used to subsidize petrol is now available. Basic economics. The lower the demand for a particular commodity, which in this case is dollar in Nigeria, the lower the price. So, and the price will also continue to fall. So this is not the year to expect naira to lose value. I've been saying it since the year started that this is the year of the naira. And this is just the truth. If you compare the prices of goods and services or commodities that we usually buy on a regular basis to the start of the year, it has fallen significantly. Take for example, it has fallen significantly. Take for example, egg. Plates of egg was increasing with speed of light. Today it just did not stop. It has started falling. Petrol price has dropped a bit. Some people say, "Oh, it was higher than this before." I know it was higher than this before, but the fact remains that his numbers were right. So if naira would retain its value compared to last year or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when inflation was increasing, you already know that your interest rates on any investment you make, you have to factor in inflation. So if you are getting a return of 20%, that means in a real sense you had no profits because inflation has taken away everything, right? But of course, you cannot say you not invest at all because inflation is going to wipe it away. It is better than not investing at all. That's just the game there. So I'm still waiting for questions. I'm not seeing any hands up. Okay. Abu Daniel, I'm going to give you the opportunity to unmute now. So guys, please, I want this to be interactive. Just ask any question, stupid question. Take all those times you're always coming to my DM. See, I'm no longer responding to DM. So if you're not a Premium Plus member, don't DM me, please. Chat in the WhatsApp group or use the opportunity now and ask your question. Over to you, Daniel. You can unmute and speak.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. At the beginning of the year, you told us to download this app, Rise. So, of which personally I did so, and I've been using that to save some. That's monthly basis to save some part of my my income. I don't know. Is that still in place in terms of, because when saving they convert it to dollar? I don't know. Is it in line with what you are just discussing now, or is advisable to save in the bank? I don't know if you get my question, sir.
Okay. So, sorry, I was reading on that person's question, so I just lost my thoughts. But I got your question. So, there is savings challenge, right? The reason why we created savings challenge is to inculcate the habit of saving. So, I've not told us now to say, "Oh, stop saving in dollar because naira is increasing in value." I knew at the beginning of the year that it's going to be flexible, it's going to go up and down. And that's why I said we should save in both dollar and naira. So RiseFirst app for savings is for the savings challenge. it's not everybody that's in the savings challenge. So I did not recommend that we should use, like, okay, yeah, I think I did for investing, but if you notice later in the year from March, I stopped talking about Rice Vest Investment Club. I stopped talking about it. We're talking about mostly stocks. And in April, or was it May? I think May we started investing in the Nigerian stock market. So it's changing. So if you want to change, fine. Maybe you can opt out from the savings challenge for dollar because of what I've said now. That's fine. But as the challenge as a whole, we're not going to announce that people should stop because it's a challenge. You start and end. That's why it's a challenge. You will learn at the end of the day. Last year we had similar situation. In February, dollar was 1940. Some people bought at that high price, and some people were complaining. I said, don't worry, it's just 1 month you are buying that high because you're not even sure what's going to happen if it's going to go higher. But by August, it went down to 17. I said buy. So by the time you do the average of all your buy price, you will discover that you do not buy higher than the current market price. That's just the way it is. So that was just for the savings challenge, just to inculcate the habit of saving. So I don't expect anybody that's in investment club should join savings challenge next year. Savings challenge is for babies. You should already you should. And another thing I always say, if you have saved for your short-term goals, every other money should be invested. There's no point saving it extra. If you have your emergency fund, if you have savings for short-term goals, other monies should be invested. But of course, I will say this in the savings challenge.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, Jeremy, the real estate video was taken pretty too quick. I could not watch it. I don't understand what you mean by that. Okay. So, any further questions, observations, concerns? Are we getting value, or we should just stop here? Okay. All right, I can see some hands up. Valentina, you can unmute and speak. Abu Daniel, is this a new hand or you want to speak again? Okay, go ahead, Valentina. If you want to speak.
Good evening, CH. Please, I wanted to ask. I was reading one of our books, and I noticed that because you mentioned mutual fund, and I noticed that they talked about these growth stock mutual funds. And I was wondering, because you showed us the Stanbic mutual fund. Is it the same thing, or that what Stanbic has is a combination of different things inside the mutual fund? Because they were also recommending mutual fund, but they talked about growth stock mutual fund. So I just wanted to be clear on it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes. Are you sure it's not exchange traded fund we're talking about? Which book in particular are you referring to?
That's the Total Money Makeover
Okay.
by Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, I know the author. So okay, there are two things that I need to know. First off, mutual funds like that Stanbic I showed you, it's a low risk mutual fund. So it's mostly contains bonds, commercial paper. Let me even show you. I think they described it there on the website. Let me just look at what they have there. Stanbic IBTC. trying to go back to that website I went to earlier on, but I don't know. Let me search again. I think I searched for the wrong thing. I think it's somewhere here. Oh, still a long one. Let's All right, so if you should look at the fund analysis here, so you see that this is a type of mutual fund that has relatively low risk compared to other mutual funds. With the Stanbic IBC mutual fund, investors get a higher rate of return than a traditional savings account. The capital is preserved while generating steady stream of income for you. Are you thinking of investing towards acquiring an asset, paying school fees, blah blah? Regardless of your investment objectives, blah blah blah. And it's invested in high quality short-term securities such as treasury bills, commercial papers, fixed deposits, and they are rated BB. So you see that this is not looking at stocks, it doesn't consist of stocks. But in the US, there are some, even in Nigeria, yeah, there are some mutual funds that have stocks in it. So let's look at let's look at let's look at these balanced funds, Stanbic IBTC balanced funds. So you see here 60% in equities, maximum 60% equities. The equities here is stocks. So it can be growth stock or it can be dividend stock. Although in Nigeria, we don't use the term growth stock or dividend stock. That term is a US terminology. So a growth stock like Tesla or Amazon, Microsoft, those are growth stock. So you have some mutual funds in US that has in the basket these stocks. Then you also have ETFs. You should already know about ETFs, VU, VIG, and so on. So those ones to, when you invest in them, you get dividend. Some of them, if they pay dividend, if they have in the portfolio different kind of stocks that pay dividend, you also get dividend. Like VU pays dividend, VIG pays dividend. When we get into stocks, we'll talk more about ETFs. When we get to US stocks, I mean. So I'm going to progress now in the absence of any other question. I'm going to progress to the crypto markets. Let me see, are there questions here? Okay, so I'm going to go to crypto markets. I've been a bit quiet about crypto recently, and then I just decided to pay attention to other parts of money lessons and decide to reduce my attention in the crypto markets. Recently, the crypto has been, just dragging its feet, just like Naira dollar has been moving sideways. And after the tussle or during the tussle between Elon Musk and Trump, Bitcoin dipped a bit in price. Some people were saying, hey, it was expected. And technical analysis charts said it. People always want to waste their time looking at technical analysis. They're not going to ever agree. But from my experience, those things don't matter. It's fundamental analysis that matters. If Trump has not said anything to Elon Musk, likely that drop would have not happened. And now it looks like Elon Musk and Trump are reconciling, sort of. So you can see that price started going back up. This was just one day dip. It dipped to, let me look at, this is, How is coin market cap showing me? 7 days. Let's look at 7 days. So this is 101. It just dipped to about 100,000. There was a bit of panic. Some people sold off their cryptocurrency, thinking that it's continuing dropping. But see, it has rebounded, just like Tesla stock as well. So personally, I'm not buying cryptocurrency again. I stopped buying in April. I think April was the last time I bought any new crypto with new money. So I'm just waiting. That's my own right now. My strategy is that I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to get to 120,000 and above. From 120,000, I will start taking profits. Right now, I'm just holding. Right, so that's my own strategy. So if you just join cryptocurrency this year, I can't tell you not to buy because you just joined. So you can take the risk. Me, I've been buying all through 2022, 2023, 2024, and the best quarter, the first quarter of 2025, I bought as well. I've sold in between, but I've reached my peak. My crypto portfolio is now the largest amongst all of my asset class. We're going to talk about portfolio diversification later if you stay to the end. I believe that many of us that are this call are salary earners. I'm more interested in salary earners in the member community than business owners. But of course, a business owner wants to join, fine. Because the strategy to building wealth for a business owner is not the same thing for a salary earner. So tomorrow is public holiday. I'm ready to be here till 11 o'clock. If you can, fine. If you can't, whenever we say we're tired, let me know. We stop and continue on that time. Right? So it's 11 p.m. I wanted to say earlier, not 10 p.m. That 10 p.m. was a mistake. And it's recorded as well. So if you think you will have time to watch the recording later, good. Most often than not, recording will not be watched. So I prefer you stay live on the call to the end. Okay, so back to what I was saying about cryptocurrency. So price has been dancing. Let's look at 1 month. You can see for the last 1 month, it's been between 101 and 106. No significant move. Let's look at 1 year. 1 year has been between 63,000 and 106. So if you bought crypto, if you bought Bitcoin 1 year ago, your profit margin will be somewhat around 45% upwards. Can Bitcoin go above 106,000? I strongly believe it can. The institutional investors are not taking their profit away yet. Okay, look at it. 1 year is 53%, not 45. Look at it. This coin market cap. So institutional investors still have their money in the markets, and we have some other companies looking at adding crypto to their portfolio. Some companies have taken the intent to their board of directors that, oh, we want to add Bitcoin to our portfolio. And, some of them said no, some of them are considering it. So I'm still hopeful that Bitcoin is going to surpass where it is now. This year is supposed to be the bull run. And then from next year, we start experiencing a bear market. So until the year ends, I'm still optimistic about that. If by August, Bitcoin price does not go beyond 1,010, I will start selling off little by little. Have a strategy. So the altcoin rally that everybody's waiting for has not happened. And I was sharing in ML community, so in ML crypto, that the reason why this altcoin rally has not happened is because of Ethereum. Ethereum has refused to grow. Ethereum is the king of what's the word? It's the king of altcoins. If Ethereum is not growing, then there's a problem. It means that others will not grow as well. Let's look at the performance of Ethereum within the last 1 year. So 31%, you can see, doing very badly. Let's look at Solana. Solana should be around 60% or even more. Eh? 3 points. Okay, because of this dip that happened from that 2.5 does not recover till now. Okay. Or is this wait, it's correct? Because this is 1 year ago it was 155 and now it's 154. Okay, correct. So you see, crypto markets has just been dancing around the same points for a while now. Let's look at BNB. So this is why for me, I'm not adding any more money. So if you have been investing over the last 3 years, I would recommend you consider the Nigeria stock market over crypto market for now. But if you want to take the risk, you can afford to wait it out. You have money that you don't need in the next 2 years, the next 3 years. Look at BNB2 is down by 4.61%. Bad, bad, bad. So you would want to take the risk. For me, I've exhausted my risk appetite for cryptocurrency. So I can take questions now for crypto before I move to the next one. Abu, go ahead, ask question.
Okay, well done, sir. So, this crypto I just started this year, so I don't know. And majorly, I checked my portfolio, and it has the highest allocation. So I don't know.
Please.
For us, we still have how many, like, roughly how many years to start taking profits, sir?
Okay,
And
so there
okay,
is seasons. Crypto has seasons. Looking at the history, we are expecting that this year is going to be a bull run all through. Bitcoin will get to as high as $150,000, but it has not happened. I don't know. The excitement is not there as 2021. That's why altcoins are dragging their feet. If you look at even in Nigeria, the conversations have died. People are not talking about cryptocurrency on Facebook, maybe on X, a few conversations here and there. The momentum is low right now. So if you already bought cryptocurrency already, good, right? If you have bought this year, and if you are also saying that crypto has the major percentage in your portfolio, I would recommend you stop buying cryptocurrency. Start diversifying, buying other asset classes. That is my recommendation. So Roslyn or Banachi, this is not a class. This is just a discussion forum. I just
okay,
decided to extend the invitation to those of you that enrolled in the academy. So just listen in. When you have gone through the academy, you will know where to invest. So for now, just enjoy the conversation.
okay. And also, I had a challenge last week, sir,
What
because
challenge?
I bought a I bought coin, and the person I bought from, the time elapsed. So he now same in still Bybit. He asked me to click negotiation that he will refund the money. So I clicked. I never knew the guy would not refund my money back. So till now I've not got. It's like the the guy just scammed me. So in present, if I want to even buy crypto self, I'm a bit scared. So I think I will follow your advice. For now, I will just stop buying crypto
How
coins.
much did you lose? How much is the money?
It was 25K. That's 50,
Right.
15, yeah, 15 point something USD.
Okay, that's not so much money, but
Yeah.
we have lost more than that in the past. And this is why I did these video guides. So but it's just so sad that you had to learn from your own experience. I try as much to avoid us learning from our own experience. That's the thing about crypto. The environment is very risky. Don't trust anybody. And even on the app, there's warning on the app of what to do and what not to do. So it's just a mistake you made. It does not mean that you make that mistake again. It was just a mistake. So next time, don't ever listen to what they're saying. The rule of the game is you send your money, you click I have transferred. Once the time elapses, you call for what's the word? There's a word. Who can help me here?
Something
Um,
other disputes.
disputes. Yes, disputes. Because for disputes, the money is not the asset will not be released by Bybit until the guy can prove beyond reasonable doubts that you did not send the money. Also, as long as you can prove that you sent the money, even if it takes 1 week, it'll be sent. But now you have click negotiation. I didn't know that there's anything like that on the app. So maybe you canceled something. That negotiation is a lie. Or is there anybody that has had that experience of Bybit's negotiation? I've not bought USDT in over 2 months. So maybe it's a new feature. So I don't know
Yeah.
about negotiation.
Yes, they will ask you after the time elapsed, they will ask you to negotiate with the seller first before reporting the issue to them.
And even the time elapsed and you want to negotiate, is the chat box now. You still click I have transferred. So within that time frame of negotiation, you're not supposed to cancel. So maybe you cancel within that time of negotiation. So while negotiation is happening, the countdown to the dispute for escrow to come in is still there. So, but yeah, it's good you have already maxed out. You have done a lot of investment in cryptocurrency already. So just take a break and consider other asset classes. As regards taking profit, because it started this year, this is why crypto is quite different from other asset classes. There are seasons. Typically, we're supposed to experience a bear market next year. This is partly the reason why I'm not talking about crypto again. I really can't be telling people to buy crypto now or Bitcoin now when the market has reached maybe almost a saturation point in a bull 1 year. So if anybody that's trying to get to the crypto market now for the first time is taking a big risk. Right now, if you are going in for the first time this year at this time, I'll tell you that it's a big risk. I'm not one that usually scare people away from the crypto market, but with what I'm seeing over the last 3 months, Bitcoin has been dancing. Over the last 2 months, Bitcoin has been dancing within the same range. That's not normal. You either go up or come down. All this dancing around. This is but if you have money you want to use to, if you have money that you can wait for 3 years, well, fine. You can keep on investing in crypto. So I think Max, since your hands are up, you can go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So my question is for myself now, with a few others here that are in the investments club. I know earlier you said we shouldn't sell our assets based on the investment stuff we're currently doing, but this crypto stuff now, from what you said now, is shaking. So the bull run is this year, and it's not coming towards the ending of the year. We're looking at from your talk now, maybe around that August, maybe if it gets to maybe 120 or maybe 110. Are you saying we can go ahead to start selling at that point or at
Okay.
that price? Because I've not sold any since I started this crypto stuff. I've not sold one. So I'm just waiting for a very good time to say go and start selling. So I'm
So
just
the
scared
thing
that.
now is that, yeah, the thing is that it's not even a good time to sell for BNB, Solana, or ETH. The only thing that you can sell now and make significant profit is BTC. BNB, Solana, and ETH haven't done well in the last 1 year. I mean, relative to 1 year ago. Maybe 6 months ago, yes. If you check 6 months charts, it might have gone up a bit. So I did not say don't sell. I only said we're going to sell at the end of the challenge. There's two different things. So if based on what I'm saying now, this is why I called for this session. So we reason it out together because I don't own the market. And I'm just saying what I tend to do. So if you want to start selling off your cryptocurrency to get into maybe the Naira stock markets, you can start
Yeah.
taking profits small. Maybe what BTC and you have made some profits, you can take maybe whilst the market is still dancing like this. That's my recommendation. But I'm not saying don't sell because you're in a challenge. Please, that risk is not my head. If you want to take profit now, or if you want to discount, if maybe you're already exposed. Like for me, the reason I'm not buying two things, I'm not buying crypto again because crypto has over 40% of my portfolio. And second is that we're already mid-year of a bull run that is refusing to happen. Although in 2020, sorry, although in 2021, the peak of Bitcoin for that year was in November. So we still have time. But as I always say, you can't be too sure. So it's better you if you want to personally start selling off some of your assets, then it's a good thing to do if you're going to use it to buy another, assets.
That's all right.
And
Thanks.
as long as you're not selling at a loss, so
Of course, of course, of course. Thank you. Okay.
okay. All right, Vincent.
Okay, good evening, CH, and good evening, everyone. I just want to, I just want to add to that issue that was it Daniel raised about
Yes,
his
Daniel.
his experience with P2P or whatever on Bybit. I just want to advise those of us mostly using P2P space that we should be very careful because there are a lot of scammers in that P2P section in Bybit. We've actually missed the days of Binance. At least we have more saner people on Binance than every other exchange. I don't know that I've used so far. So because the experience I
I
what
agree
I
with you.
noticed what I noticed on Bybit lately, if you are not careful, like she said, if you the normal rule is that you place an order and you don't release your coins until you get paid. And not just by getting paid, you have to confirm that what was sent was actually the amount agreed. Because like lately, I placed an order. I was supposed to sell, I think it was a 40 something $42. And the buyer intentionally sent an erroneous amount, because that kind of thing, once they send the money, you are just, and you check if you're using OPay that notifies you at the top, you just check and you discover that the money has entered. You want to quickly release your coin without actually confirming the amount that was agreed in the order. So I had to check the amount and discovered that there was a difference. The person short paid me, and I quickly notified that he or she should confirm what she sent, and he now pleaded. So, but some persons do that deliberately because they feel you might not really check. You just click on release because once you
Yeah,
release that coin, that's all. It's over. You can't make any
that's the
disputes. So please, this thing has happened to me several times. So I am more careful whenever especially when I'm selling or buying actually. So you have to not only confirm that the money has been sent, confirm the amount that was sent before you release your your money. Otherwise, everything will just go like that. And then talking about taking profit or not to take profit this year, honestly, the bull run has refused has refused to run this year. I wonder what's happening. So uh, all the
you have
for
not
me, whether now we go now we go for sure. I don't know. So for me, I like you said, for those that are just starting out investing this year, it might actually be um a losing game for you to take profit if you are not actually in profit. So, but if you have invested, if you are invested in BTC, you might be a little bit safer, because at least BTC goes up, it doesn't stay down that long, and it doesn't stay up that much. So if you can relatively be taking out profit and then investing in low assets, like Daniel that said he has invested more of his assets is on cryptocurrency. So you could just be monitoring, watching the markets. If you have a little profit above your what you bought, you can take out, reduce it, and probably increase your portfolio on low assets, so that so as to balance out. You get, so you can actually increase what you have, your assets on your low investment on low assets, so that you can sleep in peace. Because if you have more of your assets in crypto that is extremely volatile, you might not you might not be happy with what you see. So this is not to scare you, but that is just the way it is. So once you can just reduce the risk, you already stop investing, like CA said, stop investing in crypto asset, and then maybe channel your investment on low risk investments. Get more of those assets, so that you can actually balance it out. That's just what I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. You're already talking into the fourth agenda, which is investment portfolio diversification. So it's very important that I start de-risking. Um, and it's good that you guys are here. So sorry for those that did not make it. You would get value clearer from what I'm saying. And please, Vincent has added the voice to it. Vincent is one of our oldest member in the community. I think since 2022. So, and he is a player in the crypto markets. It takes even more risks than I do. So, if he's telling you that he knows the run for the run, then I think you would also want to consider slowing down or just stopping. For me, I've stopped though since April. I announced it. I think I remember announcing it. That late March or April was my last investment in crypto. And I don't open the app as much. And it's true that Bybit P2P has a lot of fraudsters. Honestly, I missed Binance because you hardly had such situation. And I always get pissed when they tell me to send receipts. What the hell? Why do I have to send you receipts? I mean, Binance, then we don't send receipts. You send the money and the person receives it and, freeze the coin for you to. Bybit is just a risky place, just a risky place. So you have to be careful. Then there's an app I found lately that you can sell, and you don't need to. It's not P2P. It's direct transfer. You just send the USDT to the app immediately to send you naira. That app is called. Oh my god! Please, okay. Let me see. I think I have it. What's that app name? Anyways, I'll try and remember before the session ends. So that app makes things, very easy for you to sell off. I recommended it to one of my colleagues who is in his 40s. He bought this Bitcoin about 2 years ago. And it was interesting to see that he was very he was very hesitant in doing it because that money used in buying Bitcoin was money from Omega Pro. When Omega Pro paid him, this was early 2023, he wanted to reinvest everything back. And I insisted that no way, because I was one I helped him to receive the money. I helped him to receive the money by showing him how to create wallet address and send it to them. So when he wanted to send everything back there, I said, no way. I forced him to invest about 1,900 in Bitcoin and BNB, but about 90% in Bitcoin. We're looking at it today, or sorry, last week. And that 1,900 is about $4,500 now. See, almost see the advantage of long-term investing. Since that time, I didn't add anything. No. 1.9 is now 4.5, and that 1.9 in 2023 was at how much set was dollar then? It was about 760 per dollar. So now he also sell off to use it to chase Japa. So that's the beautiful thing about investing over time. So yes, question from Osose. You can make use of yellow card and Quidax to buy your USDTs. And yeah, so yellow card, Quidax also good, but one thing with those apps is that their rates are usually higher. And then when you buy, you have to not think of transferring it back to your Bybit. So all of that logistics sometimes, but I'm so happy to see that Quidax is still alive. I thought they were dead. Long time ahead from them. I attended an event in 2022. They gave me some branded items. Okay. So yes, guys, you can consider Quidax. You can consider USD yellow card. I know yellow card. They used to do adverts, but they stopped. Don't know. But all of those Nigerian fintech apps, I try to stay away from them. I would never ever recommend any of them. So use them at your risk. Any Nigerian crypto app to be used at your own risk. So if you want to use it, just move your money in, move it out. Don't keep your money there. All right, Visa, do you want to say anything again?
No, please, if you try and remember that particular app you're talking about, do let us know.
Yes. Yes. I would find it this evening. Okay. So I guess we're happy with crypto. So we're going to look at stock market now. Stock market, US stock market this year has been very interesting. Very interesting. At first, it looked like we're going to have a very good year when Trump, won and the market started accelerating. The market accelerated to the point started running back when Trump, started fighting other countries based on trade tariff. So we have seen some stocks, run up in price and then started running back down. So let's look at stock like we just look at three stocks in the US stock markets to gauge how the market has performed so far. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia is one of those stocks that if you had bought it 2 years ago, you'd be in over 300% profit. So this is year-to-date performance for Nvidia. So you see it's just 2% up. And the reason why it's just 2% up is because of what has happened. So when that trade tariff fight started, the price went down and now it's trying to recover back up again. So the question now would be, what's the future of growth of the US market going to be like? Before I answer that, let's look at another stock. Let's look at Meta. So this is one of the reasons why I told us to start investing in Naira, because I saw that Meta has done a bit better, 16%. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon has done Amazon is even down year to date. Let's see. Let's check for the stock. Google not being better. So let's check out this Plantair stock. So this is year to date, 69%. This is an AI driven stock, one of those stocks that have been running crazy. So, but this is an outlier. The United States market this year has not been great so far because of two reasons. First is the trade tariffs, that the fight that happened between Chinese leader and Trump. I made videos on it on YouTube. You can go and watch it later to understand the details. There's more other stock I'm going to check just now. Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. And now Elon Musk and Trump fighting. So you see, minus 22%. A lot of people will be crying already. Oh, well, if you had bought around this time, I think the time I talked about we should buy Tesla was around here in March, between March and April. If you had bought around this period, you still be safe. You just be maybe break even. But look at what it is now. So Tesla for me, like I said in the video I made, is a long-term thing. So if you're in for long-term, the United States of America stock markets, you're fine. But if you are looking at short-term, you can start crying. As somebody that bought stock and asked, see Apple, Apple is minus 16% down. You know that this trade tariff impacted Apple more than it. In fact, this year, I don't think this year I've told us to buy Apple, maybe January alone. Because if you say that this trade tariff was going to impact them very well, and this is it. Others have recovered, but Apple has not recovered. So United States markets for the first half of the year hasn't been great. If you look at even ETFs, ETFs too has just been there, Look at 2%, really, just 2%. So it's not been great. But if you look at the Nigerian stock markets now, for example, let's look at Fidelity Bank. Um, so this is why I told us, one of the reasons why I told us in April to start investing in Naira in Nigeria stock market. Some people still wanted to go ahead. I said, okay, if you're not in Nigeria, I can understand that investing in Naira wouldn't really make sense for you because what I do with Naira. I mean, you should be tracking your portfolio in dollars. I'm trying to go to where I can see a couple of Nigerian stocks, not just Fidelity. So we'll just look at it and then we'll move to something else. So this is performance. Okay, so this is year to date. Dangote Sugar 20% up. Dangote cement is minus 602% down. First Gold is plus 4.81%. You have Fidelity Bank 10%. You have GTB 22%. You have Stanbic 25%. International Breweries 97%. Okumu Oil 46%. Presco is still doing very well, surprisingly. 97%. Seplat is down. I wonder why. Sterling Bank is up at just 0.89%. United Bank is up. This is what United Capital, United Bank, EBA all belong to the same group of companies, Tolmelu company. So United Capital, I think, has reached its peak. And 2 years ago, you can see 1 year performance is over. It has been falling in price. So you could see that many stocks are the say MTN. I told us to buy MTN as well. Now many stocks have been doing very well in the Nigerian city, not doing very well yet. So for me, apart from money I've already funded in my Bamboo, I have money I just put there looking for opportunity to buy the dip. Like I bought Tesla when it fell due to this fight between him and Elon, between him and Trump, between Elon and Trump. I bought at something, so it is something. Just take the weeks and Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to recommend stocks we could buy. Fidelity is going to be on the list. Fidelity, so you can start by Fidelity. And then I'm still looking at Okumu Oil. to decide. Looking at between these two, but Monday I'm going to confirm that. And there's Zenith Bank. Why is Zenith Bank here? Okay, so Zenith Bank is 11%. So Zenith Bank is one company in Nigerian stock market that is very stable. Just they go down anyhow. It just keeps going up slowly and steady. So you want steady growth and they pay dividend. You want steady growth, then bank is one stop to look at. So questions, if you do have any. Okay, so the absence of any question, what my recommendation would be for the rest of the year is to invest more in the Nigerian stock markets than the US stock markets. I mean, for stocks portfolio. That's my recommendation. So you want to go otherwise, that's fine, but that's my recommendation. And that's why for our investing challenge, I switched to Nigerian stocks. Right. So you want to, if you not enrolled in the academy or you want to join the investment challenge, let me know and we'll tell you how you could join us. So the last part on the agenda before the question and answer, which we have already done a bit of question and answer, so I would presume that we no longer have questions. If you do have, please ask. I hope those of us on YouTube are following. Sorry, you can ask questions. Upgrade to premium or join MI Investment Club. So next time you can join us on Google Meets. Okay. So we're going to look at investment portfolio diversification. First off, what is diversification? Many people make the mistake of putting all their money in one basket. I mean, putting all of their money in one asset class. One of the reasons why I came late for this session is I was having a debate with my dad on investing, the options for investing. So it was an interesting conversation in this. But yeah, so diversification. You do not want a situation where your money is relaxed. I mean, where your money is not chasing goods. But you also want to be careful that all of your money is chasing goods because that can lead to exposure, risk. I'm going to share a slide here just to illustrate the points. And the next 10, 15 minutes will be done. So why do we need to diversify our portfolio? Why do we need to diversify our portfolio? It is because of risk and reward. Look at this. As risk is going up, so also is reward coming down. You cannot have high risk and low reward. So also you cannot have low risk and high reward. Most often than not, people that find themselves in bad investment opportunity are those that want to turn this pyramid upside down. They're trying to play smart. They're trying to outsmart themselves. People that lose in CBEX and other Ponzi schemes, it's not because they did not know that what they are doing is risky. It's because they were trying to game the system. The system that was designed to game you, you want to game it. So cryptos are the apex. Extreme risk. It means that you could lose a significant part of your capital or all of your capital. Bitcoin stocks here, high risk, right? You could lose also a significant part of your capital. If you wait it out, you know, it could get back to where it was. ETFs, corporate bond, because Bitcoin from history, anytime the price falls, it recovers back to a new all-time high. ETFs, corporate bonds, you know, the risk is going down. REITs, commercial papers, mutual funds, risk is going down. Then you have the lowest of the lowest. You have here treasury bills, evidence service bonds, certificate of deposit, which is the same as fixed deposit with banks. So if you are risk averse, if you need the money in the short term I mean 1 to 2 years, 6 months to, I say 1 to 2 years. If you need the money 6 months to 1 year, short term, this is where to invest. If you need the money 1 year to 3 years, don't exceed it. I mean, you need it. It's not that you want it. Need is that at some point in time, that money must be out. ETFs, corporate bonds, Bitcoin stocks, and above, 2 to 5 years. Now, this is not to say that you would never get your money out until this time period. It just means that anything could happen in the market, and then you have to wait for that long. And if that's the case, that means you should plan to be able to wait for that long. If you don't plan to be able to wait for that long, you would have to sell your asset at a loss and start complaining later. And this is why diversification is important. It's to help you reduce risk and at the same time maximize returns. Some people, because they are scared of crypto markets, they have all of their money in real estate. Some people, because they are scared of real estate, they have all of their money in bonds. Some people, because bonds is too slow, like some people always say when I make posts on it on Facebook, the interest is too small. They take all of their money and go and invest in a business that they don't understand. So you should have a portfolio. A portfolio is a briefcase. If you open your briefcase, you see different papers, different items inside the portfolio. So also when somebody asks you for an investment portfolio, it shouldn't just be Bitcoin. It shouldn't just be cryptocurrency. It should be just bonds or mutual fund. It should be a mix. We just ended the Lazy Investors program, and I'm working with them on, you know, designing a investment portfolio for them. But a rule of thumb I usually give to people that are just starting out with investing is to have 2 to 3 asset classes. Worst case 4. That's why you have 4 segments in this circle. So if you're an high income earner and you're in your 20s or early 30s, this is the chart I'll recommend, and I'll tell you simple thumb rule for this pie chart. 30% here is crypto. 30% on the other side is stocks. 30% on the other side is either bonds or treasury bills. So that 20% is commercial papers or mutual funds. You can also do real estate. If you want to do real estate, then that 20% that I've said for bonds or commercial papers should be for real estate. So how have I mixed this? It is very high risk, mid risk, and low risk. Let me use this chart, this mouse to show you. So this here is extreme risk, high risk for crypto. This is very high risk for crypto, high risk for stocks, mid risk for bonds, so mid risk for mutual funds or commercial papers. But if you are buying a mutual fund that is low risk, then that means it's no longer mid risk, because some mutual funds are low risk, so it falls here. So this is for commercial papers. Some commercial papers are low risk, some are not. So if you are buying commodity papers that are mid risk to high risk, this is where you should consider. Then if you want to do REITs or you want to do real estate, then is mutual, the is bonds or treasury bills. Now, I don't expect you to buy all of the asset classes, or asset types. I don't expect you to have everything at once. It is not the same time I started buying stocks, I started buying real estate, land. I mean, it's not the same time I started buying bonds. It's at different times. So start from known to unknown. Master one to a great extent or to a good extent before you start spreading your tentacles. But don't do only one at a time. You don't need to understand bonds that much. Bonds is low risk. So if you're doing crypto, add bonds to it. If you are doing stocks, add bonds to it. That's my recommendation. So you can decide to say, okay, I want to do just two. You want to do crypto and bonds, fine, do 50-50. And now that I'm saying that do not add new money again to crypto, then you don't have to look for other asset classes. So you maybe do bonds and stocks. So maybe bonds and stocks, you do 50-50 or you do 60-40. If you are young in your 20s and 30s or early 30s, you should be aggressive. So you should have more money chasing aggressive growth than conservative growth. You can see in this portfolio, if you add 30 plus 30, that is 60%. So 60% is chasing aggressive growth, while 40% is chasing, conservative to moderate growth. This happens. At no time should you have only low risk asset class or only high risk asset class. No, that's not the way to go. So this is just what I wanted to share with us as we get diversification and how to build your smart portfolio. So if you have questions, I could take 2 or 3 questions and then we'll call it a night. I hope this has been a very good session for us this evening. Good to have us here. I'm not seeing Love it. Good to see you from Moses, Ethel, Chineye. Good to see you guys. Abu, your hands are up. You want to share something?
Okay, good evening all once again. With regards to this diversification, it's calling me out because all I have in my portfolio is they are all high risks, and I'm in my late 30s because I have just stock and crypto in my portfolio. So now looking at the low risks, looking at the FGN bond, I don't really understand that bond. That's why my attention is not fully on the bond, sir. I don't know if you can throw more light on the FGM bond.
I will, and then I'm going to share a video to the community later that you can watch. So, FGN savings bond is a low risk debt instrument. It is like government borrowing money from us. So what they do is that they use that money for short-term projects. And then after 2 years, for 3 years, depending on the tenure you subscribe to, they return back the capital to you. But before they return the capital to you, every 3 months, they pay you interest. So it's low risk because it's about 17% per annum, that is the interest. And then it is backed by the full faith of the federal government of Nigeria. So at no point in time would you lose your capital. The worst that will happen is that you get your capital and profit back. That's the worst that can happen. You get your capital and profit back. So there's no more worst. And since 2017, the government has not defaulted in paying back investors. So this is what you can use to balance out your exposure in the stocks and crypto markets. Aside that, you have commercial papers. But commercial papers are high capital. You need about 1 million minimum. Then there's mutual funds. So mutual funds is something you can be adding money to anytime you like. Unlike bonds that it has open and close window, the mutual fund doesn't have. So if you sign up to a asset manager, you could just continue um, adding money anytime you like. So maybe for you it would be mutual fund. I'm thinking of holding a mutual fund session soon, because it's going to be part of the academy. Those that join will learn about it. The mutual fund is flexible, very flexible. You can withdraw the interest anytime you like, or even capital anytime you like after the first 2 months. So those are the things you can consider. But bonds is the easiest, and bonds is not available until next month. Mutual funds, once you can sign up, if you're interested, on this note, you can DM me. I'll send you either Stanbic or FBN Quest. You fill the form, you open an account for you, and it's a bit of manual. There are forms to fill, traditional, a bit of traditional, I mean. So you get started. If you want commercial paper, no one's available at the moment. Commercial paper and bonds are not available at the moment. Only mutual fund you can set up and in 1 week start investing. Okay, so I hope that was clear. If you still have another question, please feel free to use the mic. We are at the end. Um, let me see if there are any questions on YouTube. How do you store your large sums of cryptocurrency? Is it on a ledger or decentralized wallets? To be honest, I'm not willing to be responsible for storing my crypto assets. So I leave them on an exchange. And the exchange I trust, those of us in the ML community know it. So I don't want to be responsible for custody of my crypto assets for many reasons. Number one is if I need to sell them quickly, how do I sell them quickly? I have to start looking for how to move them from the wallet to the exchange. Number two is that something can happen to that wallet. Either it gets missing or I'm in another city and the wallet is somewhere and I need to sell off quickly. I'll start looking at how to transfer. So I try to take the risk, right? I leave my money on the exchange. So people say not your keys, not your funds. Very true. But the risk I try to leave it. So if you want to self-custody, fine. There are wallets you can buy. But of course, I don't have up to one BTC. People that have one BTC or maybe 0.1 BTC that I'm looking at self-custody, just has a few thousands of dollars was there. More, just leave it there. For an exchange, there's some reputable exchanges that have been around and there's always going to be around. So there is no cause to worry. That's what I think. For me, that's what I think. So if you're joining us on YouTube, you would want to subscribe. So next time, when a live session like this pops up, you can attend. I decided to give those on YouTube an opportunity to join us. So it's give and take on YouTube. Anywhere else, you want to join us on Google Meet next time, you want to join us in the ML Investment Club or subscribe for premium or join enroll in the Mondelez Academy. So this way I'm going to be joining the cutting this evening. It's been great for a first edition of Investors Roundtable. I would like us to put some comments in the investment club so people know that you got value. Next time they will miss out from it. So just drop some comments in the investment club and put comments there. Those of us are not in investment club. If you're in the book club, you can also drop a comment there. If you're not in any of those, yeah, of course, if you're not in book club, you'll be in investment club. So thanks, those of us on YouTube. Thank you as well for joining in. Have a great evening and happy holidays. So use this opportunity to go and look into your portfolio to see how you can start making a redress. Maybe you need to stop buying some assets and look into some other assets to buy. Have a good evening.